Wyverns and Weirdos Curse of Strahd is a horror-themed campaign, and as such contains dark themes, including descriptions of gore, violence, and other features intrinsic to the gothic horror genre. Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos does Curse of Strahd. I am your Dungeon Master, Darby, and joining me as always are Zoe, playing Cevia, Emily, playing Beatrice, Laura, playing Conrade, Mitch, playing Exley, and Johanna, playing Fall. Let's jump into it. So, where we last left off, the party made plans for a final strike on Strahd with a few contingencies. How well it will work? Who knows? Who's to say? There may be some things that it is a bit reliant on, that are complete assumptions on the party's part, but that's what we will discover. So we're currently kind of floating around in the 2-day space that they decided to take to prepare for enacting the plan. Now we have a couple of things that need to be covered with that. So Exley, what was the first thing that you were gonna sort out?
I think I mentioned I wanted Exley to have a bit of a wander around the town, specifically the church, and assess the defensibility of the church should an attack come here. So if there are any walls surrounding it, if there's any weaknesses there, where the bones are located, and if they're in a safe spot.
Okay.
Yeah, and he would voice this to the rest of the group and anyone who would like to come along. Okay.
Is anyone going with
Or
him?
he will go on his own.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Connor would be like, I think that's an excellent idea, actually, to fortify the defenses here, of course. Should something terrible occur. I think that should be very good. Good thinking, 42. I shall be more than happy to accompany you.
Very well.
All right. So before even going in, you do notice like it's very basic fencing around the back or the cemetery end of the church, but there's no actual no fence or wall in front of the church itself. Upon going in, Father Lucian welcomes Conrade back, recognizing him, though does not recognize you, Exley.
Conrad looks briefly uncomfortable, considering this was a fun church that he was in last time. Yes.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Good morning. We are here to assess the defensibility of the church. I have been told by my companions that this church was attacked some nights ago.
Yes, it was, because our means of protection were hampered with, but they have been corrected for.
Yes, you're very welcome about
Yes.
that. I'm glad that they seem to be doing the job, so to
Yes,
speak.
Thank
Are
you
you
again.
keeping them in a safer location now?
We
Or
have them much better protected now.
excellent. Good. I should really like to, considering we had to retrieve them in the first place, see what measures you've been making around the place, if at all possible.
Well, Roll me a persuasion check.
Alrighty. Okay. Hang on. Sorry. Dropped it. Hang on. There we go. So that is... so an 18.
18. Okay. Well, we have Ismark is standing guard whenever possible over the bones, and we have a few others who aid in that when he cannot, but he is the primary protector of the bones, and he is very competent.
Ah, excellent. Yes, he is quite strapping at fighting and all that. Good, excellent. Downstairs, is it, or?
They are in their usual position.
Fantastic. Good. Excellent. Is it all right if we have a stroll?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay, so that's an 18 plus.
God.
What's persuasion? Plus 6, so... yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Excellent, good.
All right. So I take it you go to check on the bones.
Presume so.
Yeah.
If we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Conrade just gives Exley a look as they stride off. So they lead them across, I suppose.
there you see when you get to the bones, Ismark is there, sitting, and when he sees you, he stands up. Old friends. What? I am sorry for my outburst yesterday, but I still do not believe that your course of action is in the best interests of my sister and myself. But
oh yes, the others mentioned, yes. I'm certain, I understand, of course. It's a difficult thing, considering the circumstances.
of course, but again, I do wish you all the best in your efforts.
I'm sure we'll do our best.
So, to what do I owe the pleasure?
We are simply inspecting the church, as we will be leaving.
Well, it is in...
sometime soon. We would like to ensure that we are not leaving you indefensible.
No, it is fine. The church is protected through magical wards as long as the bones are here, and I'm here to protect the bones. So.
Excellent. Good.
Yes.
Well, I'm certain that will be good. Conrade kind of puts his hands on his hips. Can we see the bones? Well, are they just in a box? So they just on a little pillow?
There's a small shrine that they are ensconced on.
Conrade puts his hands on his hips and just kind of looks at them never got to see them up close. Interesting. Do you know why they protect the place?
There's something about an old saint. I do not entirely know the story myself, but there is great divine power.
Surprising they work. Interesting. Fortunate, of course.
Yes.
Actually, Ismark, I have a question. I have been contemplating on previous events in the past, and I've been trying to remember certain things, which I unfortunately can remember. And when we you were first trying to drive Strahd off, you sort of attacked him, and that sort of stopped him in his tracks. Was there a certain thing you did with that?
It was, I wasn't 100% sure that it would work, but fortunately it seemed that my thought was right, that the I cannot remember whether it was the leg of a chair or a...
It was, I believe, something like that.
Or of a table, but I was hoping, and I was fortunately correct, that it would function as some sort of stake.
Huh. So any kind of wood, sort of sharpened.
Yes.
Works for vampires?
Stake through the heart of a vampire is said to paralyze them to an extent.
Yes, it certainly did.
Yes.
Hard to pull out, too. Interesting. Okay, good. So just any kind of wood.
I do not know the extent to which, but I would imagine so.
Interesting. Conrade will kind of, like, while he's pondering this, look, I mean, it's Exley, but look over to Gage to see what Exley is doing, or if Exley is waiting for something while he's chatting or attempting to talk with Ismark.
Exley is inspecting several things: the plinth that the bones are on, the bones themselves, the walls that are around, that are surrounding it, if there are any windows in the walls.
No, there are no windows.
No windows?
No.
Do we get a rough sense that that one of these walls is connected to the outside, or is it like an internal?
This is an internal room, yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Interesting. Alright. Cool. Conrad observes this. Observes Exley observing. And then continues to, I suppose, just, yes. Oh, good. Excellent. Thank you for the information. All help is good. Good. All right. I have some time, so I may think on this. You have not heard from Strahd again since?
No. Fortunately.
If we are not successful and Strahd continues, will the arena just be trapped in here forever?
I think there is... She has scope to leave during the day, but it is a great possibility that she may be bound to this place if he is not taken care of.
I believe I've asked before, but he still believes that Arena is someone else. Do you know why?
I do not know. No, sorry.
Strange. Curious. Well, that's really all that I can think to ask. Is there any questions you have, 42? 42 is a new companion of ours, since the other one fell.
Yes, I do not believe I've seen any of your kind, if you do not mind my saying. A creature of wood and metal, it is not something heard of, even from legends.
I have been told that before. Perhaps I am unique.
Perhaps, my friend. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
Good. Excellent. The fortifications here seem quite sound.
Yes.
Clearly the bones are in good hands, Ismark.
Of course. Of course. All right. So, was there anything else that you were wanting to cover while you were here, or?
Just getting a rough floor plan, figuring out
Okay.
how many people are wandering around.
Yeah. Okay.
Have a stroll.
For safety reasons,
Yeah.
of course.
Safety reasons, yes.
Yeah. You get enough of an idea of that. I won't go into the nitty-gritty of it, but yeah. All right. Now I believe there was, I think, Fall, you had something you wanted to cover.
Yeah, that's right. I guess probably in the evening, I suppose. Fall might knock on Beatrice's door. Be like, oh, excuse me, Beatrice, can I talk for a moment?
Enter.
Thank you. They enter.
Fall enters to see Beatrice sat cross-legged on the floor, meditating.
Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you.
It's all right. Was nearly done.
Oh, right. Well, I'm afraid I was going to pester you with some questions, although I will be getting to a point. I suppose I wanted to ask about that little revelation about you being, you know, an assassin and all. Why exactly, I mean, how did you become this profession?
When I left my home, when I couldn't go back, I was picked up by an interesting party, so to speak, a band of dwarves that just so happened to work for Assassin Guild. I showed that I was good with bow and dagger, and they took me in. Taught me their ways.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. I suppose everyone has to get food on their table. That's it. Actually, I think it reassures me to learn this about you. Actually, it's good to know. No, I understand it. I did want to ask something of you. I don't really have anything I could offer you in return, although, I guess if you want my 15 gold, I could give that to you. But can I ask for your abilities? Would that be okay? Not strictly in the assassin, more. Could I ask you to protect Cevia and Conrade? Can you make sure that they make it through this?
I can do that.
You mean it?
It was already my plan. It is going to be dangerous for all of us, but my plan is to make sure at least the three of you make it out.
Oh, thank you. That's very relieving to hear. Yes, I don't want to lose any more friends. I want to make sure that they're okay, but I'm probably going to be quite busy myself, so it would mean a lot to me if you could look after them as well.
Of course.
Wonderful. Did you want my 15 gold?
No, it is all right. Just take care of yourself.
Yes, I will. Well, I'll do my best. We'll see how things go. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. He's hoping everything goes well when we put our plan into action. Yes, well, I guess I'll leave you to the rest of my meditating. I'd probably better do a little bit of that myself.
Beatrice just nods her head and sort of shifts it and sort of gets back into the pose she was in.
Nice. Yeah, Full kind of like awkwardly like nods, kind of does like a little half bow thing at Beatrice, and then yeah, we'll leave the room.
All
and
right.
yeah, head back, try to meditate.
All right. Were there any other final bits of preparation that people had over the 2 days?
In general, Cevia is going to be working on spells and seeming very stressed and upset. And she doesn't tend to leave the room a lot.
All right.
In that 2 days.
Conrad will have spent some time going and finding some like sizable like branches, and then with some of his knife, like using one of his older knives, has been whittling them down into like steak kind of shapes. On his downtime, he probably will. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just for the efficacy of these. I'm just seeing what you have tool wise. Proficiencies. You don't really have a proficiency that would help with this, but so just roll me a flat dexterity check for whittling away at these.
All right, here we go. Hang on. My Conrade dice up. My dex is +5. So like a 14.
14. Okay, so you've got. So over the time
woodwork isn't his forte.
Yeah, woodwork's not your forte, so you struggle a bit, but through the probably handful of attempts you make, there's at least 2 that you can say with decent confidence that like should be able to work as functional weapons, and 1 that might.
Excellent. So he will then very quickly as well. I won't make this into a long scene, but then at some point he'll kind of like finish the ones that he thinks are quite good. He'll kind of like look at them in the light, and then he'll kind of like stand up and pick up 2 of the failures, and he will walk over to the room that Cevia is staying in, and the room that Fall's staying in, and knock on the door.
Hello?
Hello.
Peeks your little head out.
Hello, Conrade. Me.
Yes? Hello?
Yes.
How are you? Yes?
All right. Productive, I think. Yes.
Good.
Since things on the horizon. I was wondering if you and Fall would like to learn how to attack in close combat, like better with weaponry. It won't be very good. We don't have much time, but I thought it might be useful, especially for you, if the bitey one tries his bitey thing again.
I would greatly appreciate that, Conrade. Thank you.
Excellent. I will. I'm also going to ask Fall to accompany as well.
Oh,
The 2 of you are friends, and also it would be useful for both of you.
yes. Is Fall in the room?
Yeah, I was confused. Like, am I? I don't know.
Actually, yeah. Are they sharing?
Well,
There aren't that many rooms, so probably, yeah.
yeah. This is probably also Conrade's room. This is probably also...
He does. Conrad says that while looking at Fall as well. Then that's fine.
We can also probably we can probably assume that Cevia only opened the door enough to see Cevia, and then was like, "Oh, I have messed up this social interaction."
He looks past Cevia's like, yes, Fall
will like poke their head out.
Will I just
like
come in then?
Oh,
I assume you're both decent.
Yes. Yes, I think my morals are quite upstanding.
Well, that makes one of us.
Oh.
That was the joke. Okay. Excellent. And he's going to throw both of them the failed steaks that he's made.
I would like to make a check to see if Cevia catches it.
Yeah. Okay. So a dexterity check.
I want to fall as well.
What's my dex? What's my dex?
I
What's
got
my
a
dex?
23.
Wow.
So Fall
I
catches
got-
it handily.
I do as well
Cartwheel.
with it.
Yes.
I got a
Oh,
13.
Good catch.
13. Okay. So you do you do a fumbling twirl with it, Cevia. So you kind of go to catch it, but just hit it at, yeah. And it kind of rotates it in the air.
Decent attempt. Good. So I have been making wood stakes. Yes, that's what Ismark called them. And these are not the best ones, but good for practice, I think. So obviously I would like one, but these work well. Knives are of course flatter and better. I do have one if either I can give one to spare, or stakes. I believe these will help against Strahd. I do recall when the thing happened the first time, Ismark managed to paralyze Strahd, and then I helped him with a bit of furniture. So wood, like stabbing, seems to paralyze him temporarily. So I think that might be helpful, especially if he gets in close range or tries to chomp down on someone. So, obviously, nothing here that I have fought works the same way as the training I have had, but yes, okay. So, Fall, you are good at pinpointing certain locations. Would you know if, say, for example, the grab that Strahd had on Cevia last time, where would be the best way for her to hit if she were in that hold again?
Yes. So, was he grabbing her from behind? He had her by the neck, right?
Yeah, he
From the
in my
front?
head he was
Front.
grabbing her almost as if he was hugging her and then biting her neck.
Okay, yeah. Right. Well, I guess it all depends. You could, if your hands are free, you could probably just like try to stab him in the stomach. He might be able to twist away
Yes.
though. You can kind of hit your head back and try to break his nose.
Perfect.
So there should be a couple of different like ways to twist out as well. Stomp on his foot. There's a lot of options.
Certainly. Good. Excellent. All right, then. What I propose, if you have time, is we will go through this for both of you,
Okay.
and then I will give pointer as well. So first, we shall go. All right. So Fall, perhaps you instruct first, and Cevia, you take the stick I have made, and I will stand as Strahd. This will be
Okay.
good. This will work.
Okay, I will attempt not to actually stab you in the heart. That would be bad.
It will be fine. These are not very sharp ones. They are subpar. Split too early. But I'm not a woodworker. Yes, it will be fine. Yes. Good. All right. We
Yes,
shall do
no,
this.
You can do it. Yes.
Okay. She like pokes him a little in the chest with the stick just gently, like, okay. All good.
Excellent.
Okay.
And then I imagine they'll run through that. How Fall will do that, and then Conrad will show certain like pointers for how he would do it as well, and they do the reverse with Fall, I imagine.
Yeah.
And then
Fall would be
probably at
quite
the end point as
useful, I
well.
think, yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah, no.
Oh, Fall would be like quite knowledgeable about this. This is
Yeah,
really
they
simple
seem to be.
martial arts stuff. Although I never did it personally very often. We didn't do much stuff with knives or weapons when I did taekwondo. But yes.
Yeah, and I
Really
imagine probably at the end as well, Conrad would also be like, all right, now, just in general, try to attack me. That kind of thing. But yes.
At some point, if she is allowed to act, am I allowed to try something that may actually cause you harm?
It depends on the degree of harm.
Not a lot of harm.
Not a lot of harm. I'm sure I can take it then.
Okay. And she would she'd get the stick and she'd whack him as hard as she can in the knees and cast Green Flame Blade. Which would have the unexpected, because she's never used it before, the unexpected bonus effect of probably also hitting Fall, because it hits 2 targets.
Yeah.
They're within 5 feet of each other.
Yeah. I won't worry
He'd be
about
cool.
I won't worry about getting you to roll damage simply because like this. I would assume you're not doing this the day
Probably
of.
would be caught off guard.
I'm assuming you're
No,
not doing combat drills the day of.
No, yes. No.
No. It's also only like 1d8 and 1d like 6
Yeah.
damage. So like it's fine.
Conrad looks like very like face flushed and annoyed. But he also looks very interested.
Yeah, because what would have happened is Cevia would have like hit him with the stick and it would have mid-swing lit up in these like ethereal green flames as it hit him. And probably like singed his pants a little bit, and then the flame would have curled around him and shot straight onto Fall as well.
Ow! What?
Oh, sorry. Oh my goodness, I've never done that one before.
That was magic, was it?
Yes.
Good.
I didn't. I didn't think it would do that. I didn't. I'm so
that's
sorry.
good. No, that can be used. Preferably not on us, but very, very much on others.
I feel quite bad.
No, it made it stronger. Interesting. You must
yes.
tell me more of this when we have time.
Of course.
But good, very good though. I think this is good. Good. All right. So, good session. I wish we had more time. We can do some more in the morning. Probably not with the fire. But good. Okay. And he kind of like reaches to like the back of his boot and like kind of flicks up a bit and like pulls a knife out from like the sort of like against his calf. You're like, all right, so I have knife and I have and he pulls out from like a little bag on his hip one of the good steaks. Is like, I have steak. Knife will just do damage. Steak should potentially pause Strahd. Which would you like? I have multiple of either.
Steak, please.
He will throw one to Cevia.
Right.
Yes, I will also have a steak.
All right. So Connor will give both. Oh,
She
sorry.
catches it fine. No, she catches it fine. I rolled for it.
Oh no! He
It's a natural 18 on the
Okay.
dice.
Oh,
so that's
nice.
fine.
He'll
It's a
so
dirty
both
20.
of them are going to have the good steaks, and Connor will keep the okay one.
Yeah.
Good, excellent,
All right.
good talk. This will be good, I think. Yes.
Yes, that was very well done.
Yes. Well, I thought so. Good team work, everyone. Good teaching for all. Yes.
Apologies again for all the fire.
No, the fire's good. I've been trying to picture fire myself, or hear it, as it were. You must tell me more if you have time.
Yes, once we're not dealing with this, I'd be happy to teach you more.
Maybe. That would be interesting. Many things to learn. Not much time to do it in, at this point anyway.
No, but we will have time once we're successful.
All right.
Yes, once we're successful.
All right. So, unless there's any other last minute things that people want to cover, we come to the... Now, was it daytime or evening that you were hoping to enact your plan?
Exley will call everyone together probably at about midday
Okay.
on the second day.
All right.
As discussed previously, I believe it would be beneficial for you all to go to Ravenloft to inspect it.
Yes.
I have already inspected the grounds, so I will remain here for protection. However, in the event that you do see an opening some way into Ravenloft, you should take it.
All right. We will not wait for you then, in that occasion.
If you have an opportunity to get in unnoticed, you should absolutely take that opportunity. I will know, and I will be on my way as soon as I can.
That sounds sufficient to me.
Of course.
I have no concern.
I have many concerns, but sounds good.
I think it's time to go. Any more delays is just wasting time.
Yes. Certainly. Your plans, 42? They will be well?
I believe so.
And no direct engagement with the enemy.
That would be counterproductive.
Good. I'm glad we agree. Excellent.
When did you intend to send a sending to Strahd to alert him? To put him into the trap, as it were?
That will be dealt with.
I still sending it?
Not currently.
Oh.
Then how is he to get the message? Does anyone else have sending?
I have means of alerting Strahd.
Oh,
It may
magic.
be beneficial to save your own magic, Cevia.
I'm happy to use it if it keeps you safe.
It is already done.
What means are these that you have?
Strahd has been alerted. And there is potential that he will be leaving his castle. Or a contingent of vampires will be leaving his castle tonight. It is important that you make your way to Ravenloft with as much haste as you can.
How did you do this? When?
Exley's silent.
This is...
I think it's best we listen to Exley.
I see.
As long as everything goes well.
I had other ideas of what your plans were, Exley. I'm not... Well, I hope it goes well then, 42.
As do I. In the event that nothing happens, do stay until nightfall, but in the event that nothing happens, perhaps it would be best if you journey back and we try and use a different strategy.
Yes. Well, do recall that the church is safe, so it is a good place to take refuge in if danger arises.
That is correct. I will keep that in mind.
All right. So, couple of things. As you depart, Exley, Can you roll me a persuasion check for your contact with Strahd?
Oh, I have a negative modifier. 17?
17. Okay, noted. Noted. All right. The rest of you, so everyone other than Van Richten and Exley spend the afternoon basically heading towards the castle.
The entire time, Cevia is like holding Fall's hand and just like grumping the whole way. Like, what is he doing? What does he think he's doing? Why do we keep picking up people who just want to?
Fall is like absolutely like, yes, I will bitch about Exley. This is an excellent distraction.
Like, Exley he seems like a good friend, robot, yes, person, and he.
I know, right? It's not like very great like teamwork and everything. Like it's really rude.
Well, it's just, why do people think, they keep thinking
It's like
that if they're alone, it will be fine. Nothing is fine when you are alone.
no. And it's like being like, oh, they don't need to know. I've got it covered. It's like so patronizing.
Oh, but Conrade knows. I guess if Conrade knows, then maybe it's probably not something completely stupid, because Conrade would have stopped him from doing something completely stupid. But
Still, I don't approve.
that's the entire 2 hours.
The further ahead in the group, Conrad would just turn to Beatrice and be like, what do you think he's planning?
He disappeared for a little while other day. I think he may have found a way of contacting Strahd that way. Then came back.
That concerns me. I had thought he had other plans, but I'm not certain now. But it seems like it's too late to really do much, so all we can hope is that things will go well for us.
We just have to take the opportunity when it's afforded.
That's it. That's what we should always focus on, especially if the chance to be free of this is so close now.
Indeed.
We'll just have to see how it goes.
Esmeralda shouts out quickly, "Quick, everyone! Under the canopies of the trees. Bats overhead."
We do, sir.
Oh, well, yeah. Leap there immediately.
And you see this cadre of about half a dozen bats flying overhead. It may be nothing, but if Exley sent something ahead, it could also be Strahd falling into the trap.
We should move faster.
Brings back certain memory, that's for certain. I agree, we should move faster,
Right.
yes.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So you all kind of pick up the pace in heading towards Ravenloft. And yeah, eventually you reach the castle. And from the outside, it seems unprotected. The moat is down. And you can make your way across. Do we have any final preparations?
Well, hold on. Let me. Apologies. Going through my little book.
While you're doing... Sorry. I was just going to say, while you're looking, Exley also, with everyone's permission, would have sent Prime along under Conrade's control.
Okay, interesting.
Then Cevia would have also bitched about Prime. She would have been like, I hate this ugly man. He looks gross. Everything's upsetting and nothing's a good texture. We should scope out whether Strahd is actually gone or not, and if he is, right before we go in, I can cast a spell that will link us all telepathically so we always know where we are.
I think we discussed that. What is the extent of that? That is 8 targets?
Yes, 8 of us, and as long as we don't enter a different plane of existence, we should have no distance issues, and it should last for an hour.
Yes, I would advise taking your time with that so that you don't overexert yourself.
No, of course.
I can also do something to make us all more stealthy for an hour. So I will need to do it right before we decide to go.
Good. All right. Excellent.
And
Shall be good.
I can provide up to an hour's invisibility for all of us as well, but it unless someone else has their own source of invisibility, it might be the extent of what I can. It might be the might be the most impressive thing I'm able to do today.
Yes. I guess we can keep that for emergencies. I can make one person invisible for an hour, if that's helpful.
If there is a chance that Strahd will return, I would rather be invisible then than invisible now. If, as we said several days ago, it may take him 2 hours to get here, I don't want us to waste our invisibility before we even get in.
Yes, I think that is a good point. It is not much use in that.
Well, Paul, if you have access to invisibility yourself, then that helps immensely. It allows me to utilize a lower level reserve of magic.
Excellent. Yes, I practiced it yesterday. It should work.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right.
Excellent.
Cevia, have you your armor up?
Oh, yes, mage armor.
All right.
Which I believe 15 AC. I believe.
Yes. All right. So yes, you. I take it you spend the 10 minutes to ritually cast what's it called, the
Telepathic bond.
yeah.
Do I have it as a ritual?
It is a ritual spell.
Oh, so I don't have to use my 5th? Or either of my 5ths?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Telepathic
cool.
bond. You technically didn't even need it prepared. I will allow you to swap that out because Cevia would have known that.
Thank you. I will replace that in a second, because I know exactly what spell I'm replacing it with at that level. But yeah, she would have spent the 10 minutes and done all the hands and blah blah blah, and then telepathic bonded all of us.
All right.
Together.
So, when the bond is created, you get the feeling that you can't shake the feeling that there is something vile telepathically eavesdropping on you.
Wait, immediately, because Cevia has already identified it, can she work out if that's the bad things in Conrade's brain?
Roll me an Arcana check.
I'm going to use these dice. That's a 17 on the dice. With my Arcana, that makes that a 26.
All right. So, yeah, for that, you know that it is... There's not actually anything eavesdropping on you. It appears to be you've noticed there are bits and pieces of ways that like magic is altered within Barovia, and this is just one of them.
Okay.
So even knowing that, like, you know that there's nothing eavesdropping on you, but you still have that feeling that there is
Yep.
someone listening in.
There would have been this moment when she finished casting it, because there are hand motions involved in telepathic bond. I feel like it would have involved maybe potentially like tapping everyone on the head, and when she tapped Conrade's, there would have been this moment where her face just like drops and she looks like quite scared, and then all of a sudden, and then like shakes her head and is just like just smiles at him like it's fine, and then continues going on. Sorry, Conrade.
So
Kind of like tilts his head to one side. But the moment passes. Oh boy.
And then I will say she would for the entire 2 days she's looked as if she hasn't quite been comfortable, like just settling at any point. She hasn't looked very like able to settle in her own skin after something may have occurred. But especially right now, she's very much acting as if she is being listened to in a way she's not comfortable with.
Interesting.
even though you realistically know you aren't being listened to, but yeah.
Yeah.
there's-
Yeah.
All right. So I am placing everyone who is here on the map in Fantasy Grounds.
Did the spell work well, Cevia?
Yes, I believe so. I believe. Wait, hold on. We can test this. All right, look at me.
Mm.
And she's gonna close her mouth, and she's going to think very hard and probably not control the volume very well. Can you hear me?
Oh, whoa!
Sorry.
You just hear loud in your head.
Sorry. I believe it isn't specified in telepathic bond, but I believe everyone can hear everyone, so everyone would have heard. Cevia would have been only aiming to talk to Fall, but would have to everyone been like, "Can you hear me?" Sorry.
Yes. What is that?
Oh,
Who's
that's the spell. So we can all try it. Everyone-
Beatrice thinks, I don't understand how you yelled in thought.
Ah. You speak, but your mouth does not move. Conrade is
Yes.
just saying this. Think?
Try it. Just think really hard.
Hello? Just is your face has changed, so you can hear this?
Yes. Cevia thinks.
We can all hear this?
Yes, Cevia thinks again.
Looks very perplexed. Good. Okay. Excellent. Useful.
I'm going to check something, and then I will have I may potentially have a question for you based on
Cevia or Conrade?
for Cevia.
Oh no.
Do you include Prime? Because Prime does have a sufficient intelligence to be a viable target.
Oh.
He has an intelligence above a 2.
He has an intelligence of 3.
So in that case, Conrad will point to Prime, like, can he hear also?
How many of us would that be, including
That-
Prime?
Prime would make 7.
Cevia straight up would not have. Straight up.
Fair.
She wouldn't have even considered it.
So in that sense, then Conrade's just going, Prime, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No,
Sorry,
sorry,
I
I
talk though. Like
He normally makes a grunting noise when you say his name.
maybe he just can't communicate verbally, and we could be able to communicate with him with his thoughts.
Do you want me to add him? I think I can just add it on to the ritual.
You would have to spend another 10 minutes.
No, that's not happening.
No. Look,
Maybe another
sorry,
time.
we can test it later.
Okay, verbal instruction. All right, good. Prime.
Well, he can only obey you regardless, I believe. So
Yes, that's what Exley said anyway. 42,
Yes.
I mean. Yes.
So you know, he doesn't need to hear what I'm thinking. No. So yes.
Good.
All right. So, yeah, you find yourselves outside of Ravenloft, facing the entryway. What would you like to do?
Beatrice gets everybody to come within 30 feet of her, including Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And she casts Pass Without Trace on everyone.
Okay. So plus 10 to stealth checks.
So plus 10 to stealth checks.
My favorite spell.
All right. So, are there any other last minute bits of preparation before venturing into the castle?
A quick one actually. Are there any spiders around?
Yeah,
Or were there along the way? There are.
There's spiders generally around.
So while you guys are doing other like prep things and like discussing stuff, Cora's like keeping an eye close, and he kind of just like seems to just be like paying something some close attention, just like something on the ground or in the wall. And then he will kind of lean and be like, "Hello. Do you speak? You speak. Good.
I take it you have, like, whether consciously or unconsciously,
Yeah.
cast Speak with Animals.
Speak of animals,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Hello. I am Ally. Have you been inside castle before? Or live here? Home. Good. Would some of you wish to come with me inside?
Food.
Yes, we can find food. I have some here, actually. And he'll get a little bit of jerky out of his bag. Come
Roll
live in... Oh, yeah?
roll me an animal handling check. With advantage, I will say.
Okay.
Because you're speaking their language. Literally.
Alright.
But animal handling nonetheless.
Okay, so the first roll was a 19. And the other roll was a 17. It's a +0, so 19.
Yeah. Okay. They seem excited about the prospect of food, and so yeah.
Excellent.
They'll follow you for a
And-
time.
Yep. I guess what he'll do is he'll encourage some of them to, like, he's got one of his little hip bags. He'll put like he's got some jerky in there, and he'll encourage them to like crawl up into the bag.
Okay. Yeah. They crawl into the bag.
I've acquired some spider friends, and they're having a feast. Excellent. And Connor will turn around. Strange little bug boy.
Okay.
Hopefully no one's witnessed this, so they'll just be like,
That is terrifying.
the fuck?
I was doing some googling. Apparently, spiders can eat meat. You can feed pet tarantulas raw meat or fish.
Cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm just picturing tarantulas
legit.
now.
Yeah.
They're not that big. They're not that
The
big.
Strahd spiders.
They're just standard spiders. But I would imagine spiders eat, like flies are meat. So
Yeah, and the Barovian spiders, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're probably, I'll eat some jerky, sure. Cool, excellent. I've
Alright.
acquired spiders.
All right.
Thank you.
Darby, did you want me to
Yes.
roll stealth for Prime?
When it comes up, yes. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
whenever there's a group stealth check, I
Fair
will
enough.
get you to roll on Prime's behalf. In fact, whenever there's anything that requires a roll for Prime, I will get you to roll on his behalf.
Awesome. Conrade will be instructing him as best he
Okay.
can.
All right. So, meanwhile, just quickly back in Valaki, what are you doing, Exley, as you await Strahd's appearance?
Nothing good. Who is waiting with me? Van Richten?
Van Richten, yes.
Okay. Does Van Richten have any sort of magical tendencies?
You are unaware of any.
Okay. Very well. Exley will ask Van Richten. I'm assuming we're in like a tavern or something or other.
Yep, you can be
Somewhere.
in the Blood on the Vine. Blood on the Vine tavern? Blue water.
Blue water.
Blue water. Blood on the Vine is elsewhere. I think that's Barovia. Yeah.
In that case, Exley will ask Van Richten to just wait in the tavern for a bit. He has something to do. And then I would like Exley to go to the church and steal the bones of Saint Andrew.
Okay, so I'm going to roll just two things quickly. The first is an insight check for Van Richten. And the second is going to be a perception for Ismark, which is going to oppose your stealth.
Yes. If it means anything, Exley has used Pass Without a Trace as well.
Okay,
And any other magical enchantments that he has.
all right. Now, okay,
Okay.
you're in studded leather, so you don't have disadvantage from your armor. So what was your result?
I rolled a 14, so that is a 28 stealth.
Yeah, you managed to get in there undetected and remove the bones.
Are you fucking kidding?
And where do you put the bones, having taken
Holy
them?
crap.
Um, I'll be honest, I hadn't got that far in my thinking. So I didn't think that would work.
I rolled poorly on both checks.
All right. Exley will just sort of wander. He's assumed there's some form of magical enchantment on them, so people can roughly know where they are. So he'll just wander to the end of town, just sort of walking around. And if there's a little alley with a couple of barrels of like fish or something or other, he'll just dump them in there.
Okay. And I take it you return to the tavern with
I
Van
will
Richten?
return to the tavern. I will also, on my walk, around the church or in an area of high visibility to the sky, is there a large tree?
Let me double check the map again. Yeah, not too far, I'd say. Yes. Yeah. It's maybe 50 feet from the church. At the back, at the back when you're comparing it to the road.
Okay. Yeah, then Exley will return to the tavern, tell his friend that it may be a good idea to at least have someone keeping an eye on the church. And Exley will go and, from taking a note from Conrade's book, from what Exley has seen, Conrade is going to attempt to cross his arms and legs and lean up against one of the trees to be super subtle and cool.
I love that.
All right.
And that is what I will do until something potentially happens.
All right. So, yeah. So, back at Ravenloft, what are folks doing? I take it you're about to make your way in, or?
Is there any way to tell that? Is there any way to tell if Strahd is still here or not? She asks everyone.
Wizard band.
If anyone has a method of detecting the location of a creature?
No, I think
No.
no. Unfortunately not. The drawbridge is open, which could mean either trap or haste.
Question,
Yes.
Darby.
Yes.
I have primeval awareness.
Yes.
So as an action, you can expend one ranger spell slot to sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiend, or undead are present within 1 mile of you or within 6 miles in your favoured terrain. It doesn't, although it doesn't, reveal the creature's location or number.
Okay.
But it will tell me if something.
They're there.
Okay. So,
That's all we need to know.
let me skim through here to double check. And do you have to select one of those, or does it tell you all of those?
Focus awareness. It just says for 1 minute, I can use my action, expend one ranger spell slot to focus my awareness on the region around. For 1 minute per level of the spell slot you expend, you can sense whether the following types of creatures are present. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're expending that, what we might do is, can you list for me those creature types again?
Aberrations?
Aberrations, there are not.
Celestials?
Celestials, there are not.
Dragons?
Dragons, there are.
Okay. Elementals?
Elementals, there are.
Fae?
Fae, I need to double check one thing. Fae, I believe there are not.
Fiends?
Fiends, there are.
And undead.
There are undead.
That's prime.
Yeah, there's
I
undead.
forgot.
There's an undead right next to me.
Yeah. So
Forgot that.
So, in that regard, the fact that Prime is here kind of ruins it in terms of like whether or not there are undead around. Like, but you did find out that there are elementals, fiends, and dragons.
And
nearby.
I will relay all this telepathically to everyone.
Did you say
There are-
dragons?
Yes, dragon.
Ah.
I did. Where does he put them? Where? That,
And a moat? Would you keep them in there? This is a strange question. Okay, well, Cevia,
yes.
he like points to the castle. Can you see location where we need to go for the heart?
Oh, I'm trying to find my notes for it. So wasn't it with the plans?
Upstairs somewhere or something.
Yeah.
Cevia
Yeah.
knows exactly where it is. She's got
Yes.
this
Yeah, she knows exactly where it
laser-pointed memory.
is. Yeah, and she's drawn maps for everyone. She even used up some of her advantage for that. So, wasn't it because the model she was in was just the lower levels? She wouldn't be able to see it from the outside, or would she? Would she be able to see where Heart of Sorrow is from the outside?
She would know where the Heart of Sorrows is. You don't know the function of most of the rooms because it's purely an architectural sculpture, so you won't necessarily know the design or layout of the rooms.
Right, is the room where the Heart of Sorrow is visible from where we are?
It is not directly visible. What you need,
Okay.
there is a tower you will basically have to climb up within the castle.
Within the castle, and we
Yes.
can't see it from the outside. Okay. I
You
cannot...
You can see the tower itself because
Okay,
it's...
but not the room. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
If you see that tower there, that's where it is somewhere in all that.
Yeah.
All right.
Basically the main spire.
So, if we do not waver, we should be able to get to it somehow. Get up. Excellent.
Yes. I remember it quite well, but as long as we also stick to the maps, I think we should all be able to get there relatively without getting all higgledy-piggledy amongst all the rooms.
Good. We should probably press on then. Should we enter?
Do we
He looks to the group.
Do we want invisibility up?
I think, as Cevia has spoken, it would be safer to do so if Strahd returns.
All right.
Or at least the bats return. And not earlier.
Yes, I think I see some torches at the doorway. I think I can dim them or turn them off
Wonderful.
for extra cover.
Okay. So, yeah, you all step into,
Sneak in.
yes.
Try to make the torches flicker naturally and then fade.
So,
Or just one of them.
yeah. I think you can make them both fade through thaumaturgy. I think you technically have to do one after the other, but it's very quick.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so yeah, it's now dim light in here, so everyone other than Fall is gonna have difficulty seeing. But it's still dim light, so you're not blinded. Though Fall can see as if it was Fall has pretty good vision still.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so as you step into that into the entryway, can you position yourselves inside of it, please?
Prime is so big that it's deeply upsetting.
What is so big?
Prime. The little MIDI for Prime is truly deeply upsetting.
Yeah. Let's.
And for audio listeners, the little Mordenkainen little token, it's got a very lovely little collar on that makes him look like he's got little bunny ears.
Yeah,
He does. I didn't even realize it was a collar. I thought he looked like he is.
No,
Yeah,
he's stunning with that
it's
outfit.
it's
Head
the
like big bunny ears.
Drip check.
because it's what Fantasy Grounds provides in the module. It is the Archmage art from the Monster Manual. All right, so yeah, so so a set of double doors to the west PTP. So the vaulted entry foyer. Overhead, there are 4 statues of dragons glaring down, their eyes flickering in the torchlight. As you enter, okay, so, yeah. Nothing of interest happens at this point. And you can make your way through into the wider foyer.
With the big mural on the floor?
Yeah.
What color are the dragons, by the way, as all our little tokens are shuffling along?
So roll me either history or arcana check, your choice.
Okay. Oh, my history and my arcana are exactly the same. That's an 18.
18. Okay, the appearance of them, particularly like the way that their horns adorn their heads, is reminiscent of red dragons. Alright.
Fun.
Upon seeing them, Fall would think into everyone's head. Ooh, dragons! These the dragons Beatrice mentioned, they real? I think they're statues. But
They real? The real Beatrice?
Would Beatrice?
Your primeval awareness is not that keen.
No. Beatrice just thinks, I cannot tell.
Let's tarry on then, regardless.
Alright.
Prime, you flank behind.
Alright.
He says, he whispers.
Alright. So, yeah. In the great entry, cobwebs stretch between the columns that support the vaulted ceiling of a great dusty hall, dimly lit by sputtering torches in iron sconces. The torches cast odd shadows across the faces of 8 stone gargoyles squatting motionlessly on the rim of the domed ceiling. Cracked and faded ceiling frescoes are covered by decay. Double doors of bronze stand closed to the east that you've just come from. And to the north, a wide staircase climbs into darkness. A lit hallway to the south contains another set of bronze doors through which you hear actually no, there wouldn't be organ tones at the moment.
Because he's busy flying away.
So...
See, elsewhere.
I was going to take out the little map that I think he and Cevia had plotted out before and look at it and compare their hypothesizing with the current location.
Yeah. So... how can I indicate? So you basically need to get into the spires. Which are... So if you see on the map the almost mosaic looking room.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to get into there.
Right. Oh.
So most likely we'll be going north and exploring.
Hmm.
My reckoning is what kind of. So north probably, up the stairs up there possibly.
If you say so,
I believe that's correct. Yes.
that direction.
Kind of like holds up the map to point to it while he's discussing it as well. Okay.
Beatrice creeps around like the edge to get to the stairs.
Alright.
Excellent.
We go to the stairs.
We go to the stairs.
Alright.
No movement from anything around there?
No movement at this point. These massive stairs rise to a landing that you can see 20 feet wide by 40 feet long. Stone arches support a ceiling covered with frescoes 20 feet overhead from the top of the landing. And the fresco, yeah, you will be able to make out what the frescoes are if you are up there. But from here, it's a bit hard to tell.
Excellent. Alright.
Meanwhile, back in Valaki, Exley, you hear screaming from outside.
That bodes well.
Van Richten stands up and removes his blade from his cane. Says, "Sounds like that's our cue."
I believe it might be. Are we staying or are we going?
What is your method of departure?
Fast.
I will play distraction then.
Very well. Stay safe.
Same to you.
And that tree that Exley was leaning on.
Yeah?
Exley is going to place a hand on it.
Hmm?
And sort of phase into the tree.
Okay.
Ooh.
And 6 seconds later, a tree 500 feet towards Ravenloft. He steps out.
Okay. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Exley is casting Tree Stride.
Hmm.
So this is a concentration spell which lasts for up to a minute. And every action, or every round essentially, I use 5 feet of movement to enter a tree. And I appear in another tree of, I believe, similar size or shape or something or other. Same kind, there you go, within 500 feet.
Yeah.
And I can keep this up for a minute.
Yeah. I would say there is a roundabout path that would probably allow you to just get to basically the side or back of Ravenloft.
Oh, cool.
Just as the minute passes. You would still need to get around and into the entryway. Because there is, because of the way it is, there is no way you can get in from where you end up. But you are maybe half an hour at most away from getting into the castle.
Awesome. In that case, if possible, I'll just turn into some form of flying creature and find my way to a door.
Okay. Yeah, with that, you don't even... It cuts down the time significantly because you just fly over and are able to fly over the walls and into the grounds of the castle. And that's where we're going to leave it for this episode.
Hello?
I'd never heard of that spell before. That's incredible.
I have. The second he said
really
he phased
cool.
into the tree, I was like,
Yeah, I've never heard of that spell before.
I haven't played with druids really before. Like, no.
That's really cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
And that's thinking with portals.
Yeah. Well,
Excellent. Oh, see
thank
you
you
next
for-
week, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.